What do we say about that one?
Bad time to take a too many men penalty.
Yep.
Let's be honest. Lucky that it was as close as it was. Tampa Bay dominated us in that second period. For Lankinen to hold us in it as well as he did was huge. Our top line didn't show up today until very, very late, and even then it wasn't enough. Pettersson had probably his worst game in a month. DeBrusk only had 3 shots. I think Brock only had 1 shot on net. So when your top line's being held off the board like that, you're going to have a long day.
They got outshot 18-5 in the second period, which they would normally do in the first period, but decided to change things up. I mean, and then, yeah, going back to Pettersson, it looked very similar to what you were seeing from him early in the year, where it seemed like he was having a hard time just even staying on his skates.
It looked like a couple of our guys might have had a bit of a late night. I'm not gonna lie.
Did they go see Taylor Swift
may have
last
been
night?
at the Taylor Swift concert or something, because a few of our guys did not look ready to play today. They looked sluggish, sloppy, tired. Just an all around bad day for a few of them. Couple strong games though. We did have some positives in that game. Myers played quite well, setting up the tying goal with a really nice assist. He had another really good chance there in the third. Unfortunately, he was part of that too many men by calling for a change and then not going to the bench, which is a big no-no. We all know. So, yeah, just kind of all around, everyone had their mistakes. Hughes did what he could to try and keep us going, but it looked like he was having trouble with his depth perception a bit with the bubble on. So, yeah, just nothing really went right after we took that penalty.
It's kind of like a Jekyll and Hyde game for both Myers and Sherwood, because both of them were the ones calling for a change, and both of them were the reason that ended up being a too many men call. And then, but then both of them looked really good. Myers setting up that beautiful pass to the front of the net for Sherwood, and all of a sudden it was a 2-2 game. We thought we had a chance. Myers after that too, it was full chaos draft mode, right? He was running around, he was in on the forecheck, he was looking really, really good.
Yep.
And then they make that bad call. You got to feel it for Juleson too, because when that kind of a goal goes in, at first you could see it. The puck gets punched by Getzel, but then the whack back by Juleson ends up making it go off Getzel and into the net. Otherwise, that would have been no goal, right?
Yep. Yeah, it negates the glove push into the net, which is just a bit of bad luck. Juleson had a couple chances too. He got robbed there by Vasilevsky late, and Suter got robbed. We tried our best to tie it up late there, but again, two power play goals against. Not great. I'm sure Lankinen probably wants the first power play goal back. He kind of overplayed it, over kicking across and took himself out of that one. But yeah, it wasn't the worst game in the world. Just frustrating to lose on a too many men penalty and that kind of goal. It's tough, especially after they tied it up and had the majority of the momentum. The penalty to the too many men, you could argue that Quinn Hughes kind of got hooked and interfered with, and before he took that big hit, which then led to the too many men. So there's lots of things that shoulda, coulda, woulda, but at the end of the day, we need to be stronger on offense. We look overcoached when it comes to offense, and we're not just doing natural things. We're waiting till it's too late. Once we play desperate, that's when we're the most dangerous, I find, and that's why when we're playing from behind, we're getting better goal chances. But I've noticed when we play with the lead or we're trying to control the pace of the game, we have like 3 or 4 set plays that we go to, and they're just constant, and they just are not effective when everyone can kind of see them coming.
Well, that John Cooper hockey, it felt like there was at least 4 Tampa Bay Lightning players back in their own zone. And that dump and chase just wasn't really effective, especially when you got a goaltender like Vasilevsky back there, who has no problem for a big guy moving quick, get that puck stopping behind his own net, starting to either passing it to a defenseman or starting the whole play himself, getting in a good outlet pass. Do you want any silver linings? Should we talk about any of the positives? Because the Canucks vastly out hit Tampa Bay tonight. They had 28 hits tonight. We're running around. Tampa only had 9 hits for the entire night. So at least the Canucks physicality kept it going. And I do think the Canucks did a good job as well getting Tampa to turn the puck over, because Tampa Bay ended up giving up the puck 24 times tonight. So there is a positive there. Hard to talk about positives after a loss like that.
Oh, of course. But like defensively overall, we had a pretty strong game. Really, the only one that was a poor defensive play was the very first goal when Juleson kind of got caught puck watching, and Kucherov was wide open there behind him. So other than that, the other goals were just good hard work goals on the power play and stuff. So it's tough, right? Like there are some positives, but one big negative is when your top line only has 5 shots between the 3 of them.
Well, the other thing, and I think we talked about this a couple games ago, it looked like the top line of Pettersson, DeBrusk, and Best were having a hard time defending in their own zone. And it kind of felt the same way tonight. Is it because there's something that you hear quite often is Pettersson ends up having a little bit of a difficult time against some of these higher end talents. Is that something that we saw tonight, or because that top line, Besser -2, Pettersson -2, DeBrusk -2.
Yeah, I you could argue that. I think when it's those bigger bodies that can score, PD struggles. Obviously, he's not as strong as someone like Kucherov, who's just like a machine, right? So you're defending against a line that's, I mean, when you look at the lines against each other, you got Gensel, Kucherov, and Point, who have just been feeding off each other all year and just click. We have Besser, PD, and DeBrusk, who have just recently started to find some chemistry. Besser's coming off a head injury, so there's a stark contrast to that, and it's hard to really fault them when they're playing against a line like that. If it continues to go on and it's a pattern, obviously alarm bells might start going off. But I think today was just a combination of the early game start, not really being ready again as per usual. We got lucky to be up 1-0 after the first period, and then after kind of getting filled in the second, got lucky to tie it up and just couldn't hold on. We just needed a few more moments there. Maybe if we don't take that bench minor, things are different, and we at least maybe push it to overtime. But just a tough loss all around.
I mean, Lankinen does end up taking the second star. Kucherov taking the third star. Number 1 star tonight. No surprise there. Braden Point, 4 points. Braden Point getting 4 points, being in on every single Tampa Bay goal tonight, which is wild to see. And then even Kucherov with 3 points, being in on 3 of the 4 goals. Lankinen, he's the reason they were still in the game, but on that second Tampa Bay goal, he did definitely go over too far. It kind of looks
Yeah.
similar to the game where he got filled in. Does this make it just even more clear that we're going to get Demko starting on Tuesday? Because Lankinen did look like he might have been a little bit more tired than we would have liked out there today.
Well, that was Lankinen's 5th game in 8 nights, I believe. So yeah, he's likely feeling it, especially with a morning game. I wouldn't be surprised. Demko is playing Tuesday night. Book it right now. I'm putting it, giving it the Dustin guarantee. Um, we just need the energy, and honestly, I think tomorrow we probably see Miller back on the ice at practice, getting ready to make his return as well. And I think we can only start building from here. We gotta be stronger on the top end of our top 6. I mean, you look at the comparison. Their top line, you got Point and Kucherov with 4 points and 3 points, and our guys could barely muster 5 shots. So that's where I think the biggest difference was in this game, because every other line kind of matched up well. Everyone else was pretty even, but that top line definitely dominated us.
So we're talking about Miller getting back in the lineup on Tuesday. We're probably thinking Sasson comes out of the lineup, or Ratu.
Um, it's tough to say. Probably Sasson. Ratu can play the wing if needed, but he's also proven to be such a valuable face-off guy. Sasson has done well. He's played hard and he has been not noticeable for the right reasons out there, but obviously just kind of in the pecking order. I think you got to kind of keep Ratu up for the valuable things he brings in the face-off dot.
Yeah, because the other thing that Ratu brings to the table is he does throw his body around. You saw him throw the body around a little bit too. And then even on the Sherwood goal, he was the one who gave it to Myers too. So he gets the second assist there. So picking up another point there. And really at the end of the day, you had Ratu and Hoglander both looking pretty good tonight. So I think they've kind of solidified themselves in the lineup. So Sasson comes out. Do you think we end up seeing Bluger end up back on a line with the boys, Garland and Joshua as a result of Myers coming back in the lineup, or Miller coming back in the lineup?
I think so. I think what'll probably happen is we get the Bluger, Garland, and Joshua line. We'll get a Besser, Miller, Suter line, and we'll get a PD, DeBrusque, and why can I not think of our other forward right now? Maybe Hoglander or Sherwood. Sorry, Sherwood will probably be bumped back up to PD's line.
Yeah, get the boys back together. I think we're all a little frazzled right now. I can understand.
Well, it's the day game too, right? So it's all of us. We're a little shook. It was starting to look like we were controlling that game, maybe going to push for the win or at least the tie, and then that bench minor just all came crashing down.
So the Canucks game plan is to not score the first goal, because it seems like every time they score first now, they end up losing the game.
Well, if they're going to score first, they just need to score again. That's the thing. Can't sit on a 1-0 lead. It doesn't work in the NHL, unfortunately.
Yeah, and taking all those penalties against a team like that with that much power. I mean, you saw it too on the second goal. Like we talk about Lankinen maybe looking a little tired, getting across too quickly, not able to get back. But at the end of the day, the play almost was a carbon copy of the first goal where Kucherov ends up blasting it. So I'm not surprised Lankinen goes across hard, thinking that Kucherov is gonna shoot that puck. Kucherov's like, heck no, puts it right through the slot again, through an open slot, and then ends up in the back of the net on the other side. Really another defensive breakdown by the Canucks on that play.
Yeah, and I would expect a shakeup on the blue lines coming Tuesday night as well. We saw Forbert in a regular full contact jersey the other day at practice. So I would hope if he gets another practice in him tomorrow that he might draw into the lineup Tuesday night as well. So I would expect some lineup changes coming after this game, and then honestly, maybe a trade coming now that we're getting healthy and know where we're going to stand.
Yeah, now they have to actually look at making sure they're cap compliant and all that. Do you think Desharnais is the one who comes out for Forbert probably, or do you think Brandstrom does?
Maybe Juleson comes out. It's hard to say. Juleson's had a good couple games, but Desharnais and Brandstrom have kind of found a chemistry together on that third pair. So it's tough to say who the sacrificial lamb is on Tuesday night.
It's at least nice to be able to have that conversation, because I don't think there's anyone clearly who needs to come out of lineup on the defense. So that
exactly,
it's a good thing, right?
Yeah, for sure. And I think one thing we definitely need to start protecting against is Juleson on his offside. That seems to be when he loses that player in behind him. So hopefully we can figure that out and keep him on the left side instead of the right.
Yeah, it might be one of those cases too with a guy like Juleson who hasn't been a full-time NHLer for the most part. Might even just be getting tired at this point. It might be a good idea for him to sit down and be able to have a bit of an extra rest.
Exactly, something like that. Yep.
So we got the Canucks next games coming up on Tuesday against St. Louis, 7:00 game. We're hoping Miller gets back in. We're hoping Demko gets back in. The Abbotsford Canucks play again tonight, coming up actually in about 16 minutes from now, playing again against Colorado. Are we expecting any news on Shilovs as the starter, or have they announced anything?
They haven't announced anything yet. Let me just quickly pull it up here.
Yeah,
I'll pull up the game center while we're chatting and see if they got anything going here.
Yeah. Dustin with the AHL TV subscription, so you can make sure he watches all of the games and keep all you beautiful people in chat up to date with the baby Canucks down the number 1 in Abbotsford.
Exactly. Where are we at here? See if we got any starting lineups announced yet. Doesn't look like we got them announced. And we missed warm up. So
It's going to be a mystery for now.
we got to go digging.
Yeah. Well, you got to think Colorado wants to win this game because they got pretty much embarrassed last night against the baby Canucks. And I mean, to be honest, a little bit of luck for the baby Canucks too. With, like I said, the karaoke puck bouncing around, ending up in the back of the net. So you're not going to get that many lucky goals, or But I was thinking earlier that's something the Canucks, the Vancouver Canucks, need to look at because down there in Abbotsford last night, a bunch of those bouncing pucks ended up going in the back of Colorado's net, and that's the kind of thing that you want to see. Whereas the reverse happens to Juleson today, where the bouncing puck ends up going into the Canucks net instead.
Yes, exactly. Just trying to see in warm up here who's in the cage, and looks like Shelovs is on the ice during warm up, so I would expect him to. Yeah, it looks like Artie's getting the start.
Perfect. Artie party in Abbotsford.
Can confirm.
Cool. So we will update you guys on the results of this Abbotsford Canucks game against Colorado on Tuesday night when we're chatting about the Vancouver Canucks versus the St. Louis Blues.
Yes, sir.
Are we hoping the Canucks score first or second in the game against St. Louis?
You know what? I hope we can get more than one goal in the first period, or more than 5 or 6 shots. Maybe we get 3 in the first period. We get Miller back. We get Demko back. We have some energy in the building. Who knows? Right now, if we can't get more shots on net in the first period, who knows what's going to happen? Maybe we just need to play from behind all the time.
Because you just keep the other team off balance, right? Because you like, oh yeah, here's the lead, you can have it, and then at the last minute you just come in and score a bunch of goals and win the game, right?
I mean, it's a dangerous game to play, but hey, if it works, I guess let's do it.
Awesome, Dustin. Thanks for joining us for a quick post game, and enjoy the baby Canucks versus Colorado.
Thank you as always, and we'll talk to you on Tuesday.
Nothing is perfect.